from WMAR TV Baltimore. This is 2 News. Stories about real people, real news.
It's official. The first game of the season, and the Baltimore Ravens are already on their way to yet another great season. Hold that trophy high, Art.
Exactly.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for 2 News at 6:30. I'm Roosevelt Leftwich.
And I'm Mary Bubala. It was the first home game of the season, and the Baltimore Ravens came out strong. The Ravens defeated the Chicago Bears 17-6. Keith Mills will be in a little bit to tell us more about it, but first, Rosie has more on fan reaction.
Exactly. The Ravens opened their defense of the Super Bowl season, and I tell you what, it's been great. It's been 7.5 months since they won that Super Bowl, but fans picked up today right where they left off on opening day of this new NFL season. Fans packed PSI Net Stadium, and Andy Barth was there, and he found the excitement is as high as ever.
The grill is on, the Weber's on.
Under a purple haze of smoke from 1,000 grills and tailgate parties, Ravens fans wearing purple boots, purple hair, purple faces, and purple jerseys for every player on the team provided a quick refresher course on what Raven Mania is all about. But those are fanatics, right? No, meet Mr. Raven.
That we're here at 8 o'clock in the morning. My son and I have purple hair.
7:30. Now, is that really what a responsible father does?
Yes. On Sunday afternoons and Sunday mornings when the Ravens are in town, yes, that's a responsible father.
Okay, but why the purple hair?
I said if the Ravens win the Super Bowl, I'll wear this wig to every game.
And they did win, we all recall, which is why these 3 amigos, a lawyer, a banker, and a builder, partied on.
Oh, I like to come out here and spend a good time with my friends, the guys.
Baby! Go Ravens!
But don't think it's only guys by any stretch.
Just the opening day and the parties and the fun, it's just really hyped up.
This is as good as it gets.
This is the day we all fancy how we could have been players ourselves. This is the day we throw out the diet game plan, toast the team, and light up a victory cigar long before kickoff. Ravens flags fly over Formstone, purple balloons line streets miles from the stadium. And remember, for a formal affair like this, you're never fully dressed without a Ravens t-shirt.
Oh, it's the premier event of Baltimore.
When tailgate time ran out, you could say the party was over. Or, as Ravens fans would say going into the game, the party's just beginning. I'm Andy Barth, 2 News.
Andy, thank you. And Keith Mills joins us now with highlights from the big game.
Not many highlights early, though.
Well, yeah, they're right. They didn't look so good at the beginning of the game.
Got to give the Bears credit. They came out ready to play, and they're a pretty good team. They're going to surprise some people. The Ravens did open defense of the Super Bowl championship by beating a team they were supposed to. It wasn't always pretty, but as we have come to learn, a win in the NFL is a win. Before the game, owner Art Modell held up the Lombardi Trophy for the crowd of 69,000 to see. And then his team finally turned away a Chicago team determined to pull the upset. Fourth quarter, Elvis Gerback to Sam Gash, first touchdown of the year. 10-6 Ravens. After the Bears kind of confused the Ravens in the first half. Second half, the Ray Lewis dominated defense just turned up the adrenaline. Ray's interception here led to another touchdown. 17-6. Ravens open with a win. Now, I guess, what do you need? 17 more and win the Super Bowl.
But it's good to start off on the right foot.
Scott Garceau's reaction inside the Ravens locker room in sports.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
In other news tonight, a 15-year-old boy is dead after an early morning shooting in Annapolis. Tonight, police are looking for the suspects. Anne Arundel County correspondent Lou Davis was in the neighborhood today and has more.
You know, you see one of your boys die or whatever, you've been hanging with him for a long time.
See anybody die.
You saw him yesterday?
Yeah, like earlier that night. Everything was all good. He was laughing or whatever, having fun. We was having fun. Like later on that night, they're gonna try to say he did. That's common. That's not right.
College Creek Terrace, one of the oldest public housing projects in the nation, was in shock today.
Why should there have to be a witness to all this crime?
Witnesses said the quiet of the night was shattered with 4 gunshots shortly before 3 a.m.
I thought it was firecrackers. That's the only thing. Yeah, and it woke my son up, you know. And then this morning I heard that it was a little boy.
Police answering a 911 call got here and found nothing. A short time later, the young boy was taken to a hospital by a friend, and he was later pronounced dead. Annapolis police are still trying to piece it together. Apparently, 15-year-old Timothy Sembley and 3 young women drove to the neighborhood. Sembley was standing outside the car when the shots rang out. He was hit, got into the car. The group drove off before police arrived.
Officers responded out there. They didn't find anything out there. At about a little after 3 this morning, we received a call from the Anne Arundel Medical Center saying that they had a gunshot victim.
Sembley does not live near this neighborhood, but he was a student at Annapolis High School, and Kira Lewis was a friend.
When I heard this, I couldn't believe it because it's messed up. I've known him for like a long time, you know. It's wrong.
What kind of a kid is he? What kind of a kid is he?
He good, you know, very active, you know. He has a lot of respect, that's what I do know.
The 3 other young women in the car were not injured. Residents in the neighborhood said shots heard in the early morning hours is not an unusual thing. I'm Lou Davis, 2 News, Annapolis.
And police say they are continuing their investigation. At this time, they have no suspects and no motive for the killing.
A 63-year-old woman diagnosed with the West Nile virus has died, but authorities say the virus wasn't the cause of her death. The woman was admitted to Johns Hopkins Bayview a few weeks ago for another illness. It was there that authorities discovered that she also had West Nile. The woman lived here in the East Point neighborhood. Meantime, 72-year-old Judson Woods Sr. is listed in serious but stable condition at Sinai Hospital after coming down with West Nile. Baltimore County authorities say there is need for concern, but the average healthy person is not at high risk. However, take precautions when you go outside, especially at night. Be sure to wear mosquito repellent and long sleeves. Well, spraying for mosquitoes that carry the virus will resume again on Monday in the city. Crews will start spraying the Madame Mall and Gwynns Falls areas beginning Monday night at around 8. The area is bordered by North Avenue, Hilton Street, and Interstate 83. 3 other Baltimore area neighborhoods, St. Helena, Armistead Gardens, and Mayfield, will be sprayed on Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Baltimore City Police are still looking for suspects in last night's shooting at the Inner Harbor. Calvin Harris was sitting in his van at the intersection of South Lombard Street when he was shot 4 times. The shooting happened about 9:30 in a highly traveled area, but police say that did not stop the suspect. Harris is in serious condition at shock trauma tonight. Investigators say this wasn't a random attack, but they don't have a clear motive for the shooting.
Montgomery County fire officials say a deadly fire at an apartment complex could have been prevented if the building had had a sprinkler system. It happened last night on the 12th floor of the Pavilion Apartments in the bedroom of an 80-year-old man. 10 families were displaced after the flames rose 4 stories and damaged their apartments. Investigators don't know what caused this fire. The building that burned dates back to the 60s when sprinkler systems were not required in buildings.
We're going to break from the news to talk about the weather because it was simply beautiful this weekend.
Not pretty good day for football. Dennis Ketterer is here with your first forecast.
Great day for football. In fact, we are basking this evening in the victorious afterglow. 70 temperatures in the 70s, and then fog developing, the overnight low down to around 64. The fog could mean something for tomorrow, and I'll tell you all about that in just a few more minutes. Rosie, Mary?
All right, Dennis, we'll look for it. Well, there's a lot of school pride at Poolsville High School, so much so that people rallied over the school system's decision to ban its mascot. Last month, the Montgomery County School Board voted that Poolsville High School must change their mascot, the Indian, because they say it's offensive to Native Americans. Poolsville will receive $80,000 to change their stationary uniforms and scoreboards. And still to come tonight on 2 News at 6:30, a perfect day to spend outside.
But even better for those runners and walkers out there. You got to see this, folks. Up next, we'll show you where these health fanatics spent their day, all for a good cause.
In Judge Hatchett's court.
You're not in charge here.
She's fresh.
You better be glad I am the judge today and not your mama.
She's feisty.
Why would you take money from a woman if you thought she was trying to buy your love?
You are no good in jive.
She's fair.
I want him to understand how serious this is. I am going to send him to prison.
Judge Hatchett. She's all that. All new episodes this fall.
Premiering Monday at 4.
Introducing the full-size Toyota Sequoia. Its high-force V8 engine is capable of conquering almost anything in its path, and its 5-link rear suspension is remarkably smooth. Did you feel something? It's unlike anything you've experienced.
Did you know that prostate cancer is the second leading cancer killer among men? Over 500 fathers, husbands, and sons are diagnosed with it every day. But if these men are diagnosed early, nearly all of them will survive. Good Samaritan Hospital wants to help men understand their risk factors and encourages all men to be screened for this disease. Men over the age of 50 are especially at risk. Learn all the facts. Call for your free prostate cancer health guide today.
A message from Good Samaritan Hospital and ABC2.
Furniture Station Express is your place to save on all your home furnishing needs. Twin mattress and box, just $98. 5-drawer chest, also $98. Your choice of sofas starting at $298. 5-piece farmhouse dinettes from $298. Or take your pick of floor samples, closeouts, and discontinued merchandise. Not enough? Save on complete dinette sets, bedroom suites, and mattresses, as well as living room groupings, complete with coffee and end tables. That's at Furniture Station Express, off Route 24 in Bel Air.
You're watching 2 News. Real people, real news.
On your marks, get set, go. All right, Dennis, take off. The race was on in Baltimore today to stay healthy. More than 1,000 women lined up at Rashfield this morning to participate in the Avon 5K walk or run race. Walkers and runners travel through the streets of Federal Hill, Locust Point, and southeast Baltimore. Avon says the event is aimed at fighting heart disease, which is now the #1 killer of women.
Avon Walking and Running is about women's health in general. As you can see, this wonderful Avon Wellness Village is about women taking control of their own health. And today we have the products out here that they can sample and play with that get them educated and motivated.
Well, today's event raised over $5,000, which will be donated to the University of Maryland Heart Center.
Oh, look at that. They're getting massages afterwards.
Everybody got free massages.
So necessary.
That was a part of it.
What was it, a 5K? Yeah.
5K. How's our weather? How's it going to look?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't ask me about running because 1,000 women wouldn't have been enough motivation, I'm afraid.
Really?
But the massage at the end, now
that would have been good.
That might have been pretty good for it. Hey, it's a nice day today. We had a great day. What little bits left is going to be great, but clouds are going to increase, and as they do increase come tomorrow, those clouds are going to be carrying a little gift package for us. I'll tell you about it in just a moment.
Not Victorious Afterglow?
Not a Victorious Afterglow. No, that's for this evening. You get the Victorious Afterglow this evening. When you do 17-6, you get the Afterglow, as long as you're the 17. It's if you are the 6. Do you think, Mary, that the Bears, Chicago, Mary, do you think the Bears are having a little afterglow right now?
Putting me on the spot. I know everybody in my own.
It's called the loser afterglow, I think.
Probably a loser afterglow.
Listen, I support the team where I live and reside, so I'm with the Ravens. I've been here 4 years now.
Yeah, she actually had to take the R she had on her forehead and wash it off before the show.
She had the purple wig
hair.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then was it Syragoose's number you had on your cheeks?
Exactly.
Thought so. That's what I thought.
The makeup covers it all. Yeah. Anyway,
so that's the forecast. My time's done. Let me hurry over there. Take a look at HarborCam. You're going to like this. Beautiful day out there right now, and it remains beautiful until later tonight. That's when the fog moves in. Temperature right now in Baltimore checking in at 79 degrees, humidity 67%, and winds are out of the southeast at 10, and the barometric pressure fairly high. It's going to come crashing down, though. Cold front coming in. High temperature today, 83 degrees, and the overnight low had dropped down to about 60. And right now, temperatures checking in at Randallstown, it's 82, it's 80 in Cockeysville, 79 in Westminster, Bel Air at 80 degrees, it's 81 in Dundalk, 82 degrees in Glen Burnie, as well as in Columbia. Go ahead and take a look at the satellite picture, and this tells the story. Look at this down by the Gulf of Mexico. Lots of thunderstorm activity down there. Tornado watch out in parts of the Great Lakes. That whole frontal system is moving toward us, but what's key is that it can go all the way down like a drinking straw. Well, let me give you a national map. It'll be easier to understand it. There's a frontal system right here. It's going to be like taking a drinking straw down to the Gulf and pushing all the moisture up toward us. We're going to have kind of a moody Monday. We're going to have clouds around, and then the clouds are going to start kicking into some showers and thunderstorms that will last, believe it or not, right into Tuesday. So here's a look at the forecast for tonight. Kind of camouflage clouds. See, you got to be able to say it if you're going to put it on the screen. 64 degrees for the overnight low. They're going to be camouflaged because they're going to hide the rain that's coming for tomorrow. Dense fog will develop in the morning that could affect your morning commute. And then showers and thunderstorms tomorrow late morning on. It looks like we have a pretty good chance of those, about a 50% chance or so that you'll see a shower or thunderstorm where you live or work. 82 degrees for the high temperature tomorrow. And the 5-day forecast, look at this. After we get through tomorrow, Tuesday looks pretty nice. Wednesday looks okay. Thursday, partly cloudy skies again. but there could be some rain overnight Thursday into Friday. And being the optimist and always seeing the bright side of things that I did, I couldn't put it on there. I just couldn't put it on there. And then Friday, mostly sunny skies. But look at those temperatures dropping down on Friday to 73 for the high temperature. Can you say Halloween in 4 or 5 weeks from now?
I know. That's true. I can't wait.
It's coming close.
And Keith is back. It is football weather. It will be.
A little warm for football weather today.
Yeah, I was going to say, it will be.
But championship teams figure out a way to get it done, and that's exactly what the Ravens did. Yeah. Give the Bears, though, credit for a really good game plan that kept the Ravens frustrated for much of the first half, but give the Ravens credit for regaining their poise and finding a way to dominate the second half of today's game. 17-6 final as Ray Lewis led the Ravens onto the field to a thunderous ovation at PSI Net. Though the Bears quieted the crowd down quickly. First series, the Bears, James Allen, the last guy to rush for 100 yards against the Ravens 4 years ago. Slices them up there. The quick spread offense, quick passing game led by Shane Matthews really frustrated the Ravens. Des White deep in the Ravens territory. Finally, the Ravens held. Paul Ettinger comes in and boots a field goal. 3-0 Bears, 14-play drive. They used up almost 10 minutes of the clock in the first half. Still 3-0 late first half. Ravens from their own 10 with 1 minute left in the half. Elvis Gerbeck to Kadri. He caught 6 passes. Now with time running out in the half, big play right here. Elvis to rookie Todd Heap. This is a big play. Not only does Heap get some big yardage, gets out of bounds, gets 15 yards there for a late hit. Sets up Matt Stover, 37-yard field goal. 3-3 at the half and some momentum for the Ravens. Second half, down 6-3. Elvis, again, this is when their offense really started cranking up. Elvis to Todd Heap, escapes trouble. 35 yards to the Bears' 46. The rookie caught 5 balls, and they were all big. It sets up Elvis to Sam Gash. Little play action pass. Sam wide open. You don't notice Sam until he does something like this. 10-6, 1:48 left in the third. Fourth quarter, all Ravens. They dominated. Shane Matthews from the shotgun. Now, Ray Lewis had an interception called back, dropped one, finally gets this one. Jamie Sharper tips it. Lewis, Peter Boulware, Jamie Sharper were brilliant today. The best group on the field were the Ravens linebackers. Now, here's how the Ravens offense has changed. 3rd and 1. Last year you run Jamal Lewis. This year you throw downfield to Pat Johnson to the 1. Elvis was 24 for 30, 271 yards. That sets up Terry Allen. Terry ran real hard in the second half. The offensive line blocked well. 17-6 and the game was all but over. But for good measure, the defense, one last nail in the coffin. Matthews, James Trapp reads it perfectly. He replaced Dwayne Starks, who didn't even dress. 17-6 the final. The Ravens on the board at 1-0, and Scott Garceau in the Ravens locker room.
The Ravens defense didn't allow a touchdown. Elvis Gerbeck set a Ravens record completing 80% of his passes. In between some rough spots, but in the end, the Ravens' 12th straight win.
We're going to take great delight in having beaten a worthy opponent that fought their butt off, and we're going to enjoy that. Now we're going to move on to the Minnesota Vikings.
In the second half, you know, we got into the locker room and changed up our running game a little bit, did some different things, and you could see we had a couple good drives that really put some scores together, and it was a credit to the offensive line.
3rd down, we're on our 30-yard line. Nowhere in hell does Brian throw that ball 3rd and 1 last year, and that shows the confidence that he has in Elvis. And I told you guys before, he's good as I've been around, and I've been around one that's going to the Hall of Fame in a couple of years. And Elvis can throw the ball.
I think everybody was so wound up and wanted to get the big hit out there and get the big play and the sack and the, and really get the crowd going, and it wasn't really happening. They were doing a lot of dump passes, 5, 3-yard dump passes, and it was sort of aggravating and frustrating for us. But the guys were talking on the sideline and saying, don't let it frustrate you, just play our game.
That's not football. Where you throw the ball and guys run out of bounds, like that stuff. That stuff you do at the end of the game. And the first thing they're saying is, y'all won't touch us and this and that. Nah, play us, and everybody sees that. Anybody come out and start do that nickel and dime stuff. Once we calm down and once you realize that won't win you the ball game, then things change.
The Browns did it last year. The Jets did it last year. For much of the game, for an early part of the game, they had the Ravens defense off balance. But what Ray Lewis just said, you got to beat them for 60 minutes. You got to physically beat this team for 60 minutes. If you can't come with a physical game for 60 minutes, you have no chance of being the Ravens. And that's what happened today. Ray Lewis, Bull Ware, Jamie Sharper were brilliant today, as I said. Tonight on Sports Extra, much more on the NFL replacement refs. Interesting day for the Pinstripes. Ravens play the Vikings week from tomorrow. First Monday night game here in Baltimore since 1978. And the Vikings will not be happy. Opening kickoff against Carolina. This is how Steve Smith of the Panthers set the tone of this game.
Smith through the hole. Smith. Look at him go. There he goes. He's going to go all the way.
94 yards opening kickoff. If you're George Seifert, you say that's a way to start. If you're Dennis Green, a nightmare. It got worse. Third quarter, rookie quarterback Chris Wenke to Musam Muhammad, maybe the game's best receiver, along with Randy Moss right there. 24-13 Carolina. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tonight on ABC2 at 7, your favorite Disney Channel series comes to primetime. It's Lizzie McGuire and Even Stevens with guest stars BB Mack and Aaron Carter. At 8, join Regis for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. At 9, a double dose of The Practice, followed by 2 News at 11. Tonight's lineup was brought to you by Gardner's Furniture, America's top brands at America's guaranteed lowest prices.
Of all the people in this neighborhood, you guys are trying the hardest to get into this church. Here, come anytime you want.
Our hearts, our minds, and our doors are always open. The people of the United Methodist Church.
September 17th, they're here for the first time in 24 years.
Are you ready for some football?
Monday Night Football kicks it in Baltimore when the Ravens battle the Minnesota Vikings. And ABC2 breaks it down with countdown to kickoff, team coverage on and off the field, live pregame show from the Coliseum, the Turf Restaurant and Sports Bar, and PSI Net Stadium. It's the ultimate rally for the Ravens. September 17th, the only game in town is Monday Night Football and ABC2.
Marvin Windows and Doors understands that not everyone is the same. With more than 11,000 standard shapes and sizes and unmatched custom capabilities, Marvin is made for you. From the elegance of a French door to the revolutionary wood and clad ultimate double-hung window, you'll find a design that fits, no matter how you work or play. Marvin Windows and Doors, made for you.
Visit the Window and Door Planning Center in Baltimore or call 410-242-3000.
Gary, oh boy, I just feel dizzy.
So tell me what's going on.
Tired, Gary. I've got to sit down.
Okay, just keep talking to me.
It feels like I can't breathe.
Your medication shouldn't cause that.
You don't think I'm having a heart attack, do you?
Someone call 911, please.
Hurts.
We're getting help. Don't worry.
If it were just about filling prescriptions, any drugstore would do. Rite Aid. With us, it's personal.
The Orioles in Seattle to play the Mariners as we speak. Birds lost the first 2 games of this series, the first 5 games of the road trip, and it is not going well today. Josh Towers to Brett Boone. Brett Boone would be in the Hall of Fame yesterday if he played the Orioles every day. 35 home runs now for Boone. 6-0 Seattle in the 7th. On to the National League and the Barry Bonds show. Giants and Rockies, first inning. Bonds, after he ponders what he's going to do. Scott Alarton, former Orioles broadcaster John Miller with the call. Home run number 61 for Barry Bonds. In the 5th, Alarton again, number 62. He is on that pace to break Mark McGwire's record. Can he do it? It's 4-4. The Giants and Rockies in the 10th. One thing that might affect Bonds in a negative way as he's in a pennant race, and whereas McGwire a couple years ago could just swing for the fence every time, Bonds is trying to get his team into the playoffs. Might have to take a couple of walks here and there to do that. We shall see. In tennis, Pete Sampras went after his 5th U.S. Open singles championship. He took on Leighton Hewitt of Australia, and after a really, really good first set, which Sampras lost 7-6 in a tiebreaker, he loses the match. Hewitt in the near court, match point, and Leighton Hewitt, one of these up-and-coming young stars like Andy Roddick, beats Pete Sampras, but give Sampras some credit. People counted him out before this tournament even began,
true.
and he got to the finals. Hats off to both of those great players.
All right, Keith, we'll see you a little bit. Coming up next on 2 News, the sights and the sounds of a special day in Parkville.
Stay with us for all a glimpse of the excitement at the Parkville Town Center Fair. Good to get done.
The nightmare facing millions of pregnant working women. What to wear to the office.
For me, it's a no-brainer.
Watch Judge Marilyn Millian
Boy, do I love wearing the robe.
on the People's Court
Come on, I'm going to go into labor here.
and see what develops.
You never know what to expect.
The People's Court.
Weekdays at 9.
Put the food down, walk away, nobody gets hurt. Let's get him! I got him!
Think you're tough enough to drive a Tacoma?
Give me back!
Join the club. Introducing the double cab with over 5 feet of bed length.
You just can't mess with a man's salad. Word up.
If the happiest day of your life, along with your dreams, have been shattered by a birth injury such as cerebral palsy, known as CP, it may be due to medical malpractice. Call Science Kirk and Miles at 1-800-MALPRACTICE.
Attention everyone, there is a special offer in Popeyes. Women and children first.
Popeyes Spicy Chicken Bites are back. All the Cajun flavor you love in Popeyes chicken packed into juicy, crispy, all-white meat bites. Popeyes Spicy Chicken Bites. Powerful Cajun punch, now in a bite-sized crunch. Only $2.29. Or throw your own festival with an 11-piece box of Popeyes Cajun chicken for only $9.99.
It's like a Popeyes chicken palooza.
Unwrap the gift to good health with a day of caring. All women, even men, are at risk for breast cancer. Learn the keys to fighting this disease. Saturday, September 15th at the Timonium Holiday Inn. For more information, call 410-323-2932.
You listen to The Goose on AM 1300 WJFK. Now see his show taped live at the Coliseum in Cockeysville. Join 2 Sports Thursdays, 7 p.m.
Crowds of people had lots of family fun at the 18th annual Parkville Town Center Fair today. The fair featured lots of music, crafts, wine tasting, vendors, and of course, food. And new this year was the dunking booth where folks got to dunk delegates, school teachers, and lots of other people.
Fair.
All the proceeds from the dunking booth will go to the Maryland School for the Blind, the Little People's Research Fund, and the Parkville High School's music department. Crab cakes too. Now that's a fair.
That's a big corn dogs. Do they have corn?
Yeah, I know. I gotta wait for the state fair again. That's all for 2 News at 6:30. Thanks for watching.
We'll be right back here at 11.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later.